right, it's time for another episode of the PEBAheads, and as always, I've got Scott with us, myself, and then we're in the dog days of just this whole entire off season of dragging along, and thought it would be a good time to do a GM interview with one of our fellow GMs, one that we haven't been able to have on yet. So let me remove these pins on here. Welcome, Tice from
Hey,
Hartford. Hey,
how's it going, everyone?
thanks for
Excited to be
joining
on
us.
here. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. No, it's our favorite Scott. I think I can speak for Scott and say it's our favorite thing to do to talk to other GMs about their teams and get their insight on the game and just kind of see how they strategize. And so we'll get into that with you, but I know Scott, we'll have you kick this off because you're the best with asking these questions and coming up with them.
All right, so we got some simple ones. They're pretty typical. We ask of everybody. So, how long have you been in PEBA?
I've joined in the off season after the 2040 season. So my first season was in 2041.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
how did you find PEBA?
I actually found it through Rob. Rob was my high school baseball coach, and I became, I guess, good friends with him, I guess. Like we would chat outside of practice and games, and I ended up working for him a couple summers ago. Um, and he knew how much I loved baseball stats and just baseball in general. So he was like, "Hey, there's an opening in my league in out of the park baseball. Do you want to join?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So it was my introduction to OOTP and PEBA was at the same time, really.
So, you had not played out of the park baseball before joining PEBA.
I played like for a week before, like when that whole like I was getting set up with everything, and I played a bit of like online, not online, like
Solo,
solo,
yeah.
yeah. But that yeah, this is my first online league, and yeah,
And so you're not in any other online leagues right now.
I was in one because last summer I was getting pretty bored, but with this past school year. Uh, I've been getting pretty busy and I couldn't keep up. It was one of those leagues that simmed every day and it was getting a little much. I kind of like the slow pace of PEBA at times. Sometimes I wish there was a few more sims, but
So your team, Hartford, has been in the playoffs 9 times throughout the history, 3 of the last 4 years. So you're responsible for the most recent success. What's your preferred way to build a winning team? Like, what do you value? Are you one of these guys who likes pitching and defense? Do you
yeah.
like home run hitters? Are you a speed and contact guy? Like, how would you describe the way you go about assembling a winning team?
Yeah, well, defensively, I like, being strong up the middle. So like having good defense at catcher, at shortstop, at center field. Um, like I like to have everybody with above average defense on my team, but like if my second baseman is a little bit like a 6 or a 7 at second, or my first baseman or my left fielder, I won't mind as long as they're a good bat. And I try to, build starters first, mostly because I entered PEBA with some amazing starters. I came in with Velez, Goder, and Hernandez. So my top three pitchers I've always had. So I've been, yeah, focusing on starting pitching, defense up the middle, and then power because I friendly hitter friendly park in Hartford. Lots of home runs get hit there.
Um, he went right from Goder went right from the draft to PEBA.
Yeah.
How important do you think he's been to your success for your team?
Um, I mean, I'd say very important. Like, I mean, it really helps to have a pitcher who can pitch that many innings. Let me pull it up real quick. Yeah, 200 and almost 230 this past season. Season before, 244. So just getting a pitcher who can eat innings and limit runs like Goder can very, very helpful. I feel very fortunate to have joined the league with him on my team. I didn't have to make a crazy trade to get a guy like him or, you know, tank or not tank, just like play a little worse to get a higher draft pick to be able to, but I didn't have to do any of that. I started with two great ones.
Yeah,
Well,
and
at one
Goder's
point
here
you
too.
were no, I was gonna say at one point you were debating trading Goder.
Yeah, when I first entered the league, I didn't know if we were going to be competitive or not. And that first season, 2041, nobody in the Seaboard was competitive, and I won the division with an 80 and 82 record. Um, so I think after that, I was like, man, this is a weak division. Maybe I'll keep competitive competing. So I since that season, I've not really thought about trading him again. I've gotten some people to reach out, ask about him, but answers usually your farm system, like I need the whole thing.
So
Um,
do you think about the longevity for him because he's got the record for wins for Hartford right now with 100. So no starting pitcher has more wins. No pitcher has more wins for Hartford than Goder. Um,
yeah,
and if you think about it, he's got what it takes to be a Hall of Famer someday if he doesn't get hurt.
yeah,
So
if he keeps it
he
up,
yeah, he's the kind of player that, you know, emotionally I think might be difficult to trade because he's a
yeah,
lifelong
that's
Hartford
that's how
player.
I'm feeling at this point too. Um, and I haven't really gotten to the point where, because I've only been in there for 4 seasons, where a player has been like, I've gotten so emotionally attached to a player where I like don't want to trade him or he's like been with my team the whole time. So like I think I haven't had to make the decision where when Goder's ratings eventually do fall off, do I want to keep him on the team so he can retire a harpoon, or would I not want to spend the money on a guy who's decreasing in ratings? I haven't had to make a decision yet. It's still hopefully a ways away before his ratings start taking a big dip. But as of now, I don't think Goder's moving anywhere.
Right. I think if I were you, it would be really hard to pry him away from me. But you can also probably like he's been signed through the 2048 season, right?
Yeah.
So there's another extension in there possible, and sometimes it's kind of fun where you can give these guys a little bit longer extension in that next one that takes them into their upper years, age
Yeah.
38, 39, and 40,
Hmm.
and yet but you might be able to get him for a little bit less because of that. So if he's team controlled
Yeah.
into his age 39, 40 season, you throw him in the bullpen, you make him a long relief guy, right? Like
Yeah.
there's ways to make it work.
Yeah. Definitely. Um, yeah. Uh, I'm
So, last year you make it all the way to the championship game and
yeah.
fall just short. What were your off-season goals this year for your team, and have you been able to meet those goals yet, or are you still trying to piece things together?
The main goal was get some better bullpen arms. Like this past season, um, let's go to meet the team. Or wait, where do I see this? All right, here. Uh, I had a I was first in starters ERA. I think if that I'm not sure if that was just in the
You were,
IL.
yep, 308
Um,
ERA, first in ERA, second in runs against.
yeah, and then but my bullpen ERA was 10th. I think that might
Yeah.
be in the IL too. So the
Yeah.
bullpen was the main area I was trying to upgrade. One of my bullpen arms that I drafted last draft, like not this most recent one, maybe the 2043 draft, was Keith Atkins, and he got a big boost. But like we said, we're talking about earlier about left-handed pitchers in the bullpen, I needed some more. So when I reached out to Jamie at Kalamazoo to ask about that Lopez guy, the only thing that ended up making it work was sending Keith Atkins along with my starting pitcher Brian Puckett over there. Um, so. I'd say I met my goal there, and I also traded for a minor league bullpen arm in Sepulveda, 3.5 star potential for my scout. He's only 2.5 right now. Looks like he has some improvement to do in movement, especially, but I hoping he can maybe come up this year, maybe next year. Um, so I would say my goal for bullpen is mostly met. I would have really liked to have both Lopez and Adkins, uh, but beggars can't be choosers. The deal had to make sense for Jamie too, and seemed like Jamie really wanted to keep a bit elite closer in his bullpen while still gaining a starting pitcher. So I think the deal worked out for both of us.
So
Well, then,
I was looking over your team, and you've got on your 26-man roster, 16, I think I counted as trade acquisitions.
Yeah,
So
I build my
you
team with
you
trades.
you are a prolific trader. We have a few of those in the league that just, I mean,
Yeah,
if you look at some, like if you look over the Avas and the Ghosts and look at how many players that they
yeah.
drafted and developed versus how many players that they traded for, and it's astonishing. So would you say that trading is something you enjoy about the league? Is that something
That's
that
it's probably my favorite part. I really love engaging in trade chats, even if I don't know the my trade partner isn't uh keen on the deal I'm offering or whatever, but it's still fun to hear how the other person sees the deal and sees your players and I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit lazy or something and I don't want to wait for my prospects to come up and I don't know, I think it also with we're competing right now. We're trying to compete. Prospects aren't really doing me much down there. If I can get a player that helps me out, I'll trade my prospects for them and my picks because
and
we're competing now.
sometimes you get them back, right? Like
Yeah,
before we started
like
recording, we
like
talked
Li
about
Feng Chen. Yeah, sometimes I'll get them back. So,
well, that's the
uh,
other thing that stands out with your team is that you're really young. Like even the guys that you've traded for are young players. Like
yeah,
the other part
that
of
was
the deal you did in the offseason with getting the closer, you got Andrew Lyle, 24-year-old
yeah.
lefty. How does he fit into what you're trying to do?
Wow, like that was a. I'm really glad I got him because I have a pretty stacked outfield, but I think my bats, I've been needing a few bigger bats, and he's not, only 718 OPS last season, but 784 season before, maybe version change did some to him, who knows? But I think that is the only way that deal was going to work was Jamie really needed that closer back, but he also needs, a starting pitcher if he wants to compete. And I needed, another lefty in the outfield with some speed, like, just getting a guy who has great defense out there with some speed and some good contact ability, along with that, lefty closer I've been needing. So,
Well,
um,
Scott and I talk about it all the time about two teams walking away feeling like they got what they needed out of the deal. And it definitely
mhm,
seems like for both of you, you were able to address weaknesses that you needed to
yeah,
address in the offseason. I mean, the starter, it was crazy when you look at the starter that you gave up. He goes from being your number four guy to
mhm,
being Kalamazoo's essentially ace. And it's
yeah.
not a knock on him. It's just you had th three other guys that were just as
Yeah,
good or better.
Goder and Velez and Hernandez all are established and amazing pitchers. So it's kind of hard for a rookie like Puckett to come in and jump them in the rotation order,
Yeah.
no matter how good he's been playing. So I expect him to maybe not have a 2.9 ERA next season, but I think he'll, be in the low to mid threes.
Well, to get a couple questions away from PEBA, I do want to ask you. I know at one point you said that you were playing club baseball, or you're looking into playing club baseball. Are you still playing, doing that, or did you?
No, I go to the University of Michigan, and the club baseball team here is extremely competitive. My freshman year, when I tried out, they were taking one pitcher, and I'm a pitcher. And there was a guy throwing 92.
Oh, geez.
So guess who the guy they chose? And this is a club baseball team.
Club baseball throwing 92.
So Michigan just has a lot of people. So there's bound to be a bunch of, baseball players who could have gone like D2, D3, low D1 that just rather get education at Michigan instead of that random school. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a choice I ended up making. So
So
uh
as a student at Michigan, are you able to go to a lot of the football, basketball games and that type of
Yeah,
stuff?
since I was born and raised in Ann Arbor and then go to school in Ann Arbor, I've been to so many Michigan football games in my lifetime and all sporting events. Like we had season tickets for hockey, season tickets for basketball, season tickets for football. So I got to go to a lot of those Michigan events. Super fun. I
Well,
love it.
I will have to. My buddy's a big Michigan fan, and he wants to go to the Iowa Michigan football game. I think it's in
Mm.
October coming up. So I will let you know, you and Rob know, so
Yeah,
we
we
can
could
try
go
to.
get dinner or something.
Yeah. And
What's your
speaking
major?
of, yeah, what is your major?
My major is data science.
Oh,
Um,
really?
yeah, so like mixture of like computer science and statistics. I actually have an like the where I'm working right now, internship at this place called Grip Fusion. You guys should look it up. It's this new technology where they created this baseball that has sensors all with like underneath the leather and stuff, and it will be able to like mimic your grip and show it on the tablet and show how much force you have. Like it has like an accelerometer and a gyroscope inside. So there's a lot of tech in there. I'm one of two people on the data science team. Me and this guy who just graduated got his master's degree from Michigan. So there's two
Cool.
people on this team, startup company, but it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. I knew that you were doing that type of stuff, but I didn't know exactly, what you feel like, what you were helping out, or, you're working on. And
Yeah. I go through like the databases, like whenever like the CEO guy, his name's Mason, whenever Mason has any questions, like he's like trying to find an answer to like some problem, I just, go through all the database, write some code, try to compare them, merge the database together, try to find the answer that he's looking for.
do you feel like that translates well into the OOTP building of your teams?
Um,
And
Maybe not so much just because the data we're getting is very odd.
yeah,
But I do think my love for data does help my love for out of the park baseball. Um, I have a couple friends who love baseball, but I try to show them out of the park, and they were like, I want to play the game, like I don't I don't want to manage the team. I want to be the person playing the game." I'm like, "Well, this is a lot of fun. You got to be the GM. You got to do whatever." Yeah.
It has to be one of the greatest hobbies ever, right? Like our hobbies is to be a manager of a baseball team, like
Yeah.
not just a team, and an entire organization, right?
Hmm.
And the detail that they put into this game is just phenomenal. Sean and I were talking the other day. I started playing this thing when it was called season ticket baseball, and this was back in 2001. And season ticket baseball is technically out of the park four, and that's what I found. So I've been playing this since for 25 years. I've been playing this game that we're in. It's just crazy how long I've been doing it. But that's what it is. That was the draw immediately, was because I used to do fantasy baseball, and
Hmm.
this is fantasy baseball on
Yeah,
steroids,
I
right?
agree.
It's
Hmm.
like if you like fantasy baseball, you probably should absolutely love online
Yeah.
leagues with Out of the Park, right? It's way like there's just so much more involved with it.
I
Yeah.
But
was talking to my wife after we had that conversation, Scott, and she was like, "Well, when did you start? Like, did you start playing this game like around the time we met. I'm like, no, I was playing it long before that. She's like, well, how long? I'm like, my best friend and I, like, from, like, we would play, like, when we were in, like, elementary school, we were playing, like, Madden 2000 on the computer because it had a franchise mode. It was one
Yeah.
of the first games that had that, and you could carry over from, like, we were playing Tecmo Bowl when you could do season to season on that and two-player seasons. Like, but when we were freshmen in college and it was 2000, yeah, 2006, I was like, hey, I found this baseball game and we were playing solo leagues together because we were roommates and just messing around playing simming out that type of stuff. And then I found like it was probably like probably 3 or 4 years after college. No, it was probably, yeah, it was after college, but 3 years after that, like I think around 2010, I found was when I joined the first like online league, and I was telling him about it. I'm like, dude, you got to join this. Like, we're going up
Yeah.
against real people, and
Uh-huh.
not the computer, and you do trades, and
Yeah, the computer's not gonna screw you in a trade or like
yeah,
let you screw it. Like that was what I didn't like about the solo out of the park was the trading just didn't seem realistic at all.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. Nothing beats trading with a real human being, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just I don't know. Like, I guess maybe one day they're going to have the technology that can mimic it, but I'm skeptical.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know what they do now. 'Cause yeah.
well, yeah, like you could always. It seemed like you could trade for relief pitchers really easy in solo and get really good
Yeah.
back end guys really easy. And then you could give up like large packages for starting pitchers that it was a lot of depth type guys
Yeah, you
just to
didn't have
get
to
that
give
one
them
ace
yeah.
guy. And it's like, yeah, I'll give you all these garbage guys. I don't care. Like
Here's five 2.5 star guys.
yeah.
Yeah, try getting away with that in a place like PEBA, right?
No.
Just not going to work.
Well, it's like, I mean, like, Goder's a good example. Like now, and we've seen starters get traded recently. It's like for you to actually even think about
Yeah.
doing it, the amount of that you would have to get an offer. There's just not that many teams out there that have the bullets to even make that type of offer. I mean, I've reached out to a couple teams about draft picks, and it's like even then, like some of these draft picks that are high up in the draft, where you could draft a good starter or good,
Hmm.
hitter prospect. It's just like there's very few teams that have the pieces to put those types of offers together right now.
And
Yeah,
I was thinking, oh, sorry.
a top 10 pitcher. Think about it in this league. I mean, Goder's clearly one of them, right? Like a
Yeah.
top 10, top 12 even pitcher that could easily be an ace on half the teams. That's what a first, second, and third rounder plus, right? Like
Mhm.
the
Yeah,
the going
Yeah.
rate on a true ace in this league is phenomenal. I mean, unless the person's 35, 36 years old,
Yeah.
it's just
29-year-old with Goater though, it's still got a lot of
right.
time.
Like
I
I
was
know, yeah, the starting pitcher, my ace, Padilla, when I acquired him from Duluth, I gave up my first, second, and then my previous drafts, the two guys, my first and second round that I took in that draft. And then I gave like another two prospects on top of that. And people at the time were like, you're overpaying. And I mean, I think Tim got a good return on Padilla,
yeah.
but like at the same token, is there an overpay on a starting
No.
pitcher anymore? Like I think if you can get
'Cause
an ace, like you have to
how
get
are
it.
you
If you
else are
don't
you gonna
have
get
it.
it? Yeah,
Yeah.
the draft isn't that reliable. The people aren't going to want to just give them up for free. Like Tim needed a good return, and that's
Yeah.
what he got. And you
Yeah.
were willing to give that up. Like I don't know. I always feel like if you are willing to slightly overpay in everybody else's eyes, if you have the capability to do that, you have like the minor system to do that, and that move will improve your team now when you're trying to compete, like why not make the move? Like,
Yep. No, I agree. I mean, I know when you first joined, you had the vultures swooping in trying to
yeah. Lots of
tried to
offers on
scoop him in.
Goater. None of them really struck my fancy. I ended up moving DeJean to Aurora, and yeah, I feel like that I might have regret that one a bit. But the player I ended up getting, Yotaro Sagano, he wasn't as developed as he is now with Palm Springs. And I think with that player, he made that trade fair. I just think at the time, he wasn't nearly the player that he is now. He was like 2.5, maybe 3 star.
Yeah. But you gotta make moves and learn from them, and
Yep.
you've definitely done that. And I mean, we always joke about people in Rule 5 taking their players back, and you were able to trade back for a guy that you
Yeah.
lost, and he's ended up becoming like one of your best players on your team. So, well, since we were talking, you mentioned Palm Springs, it's a good time to segue to Rob has a question for you that he would like you to bring up, and
Hear it.
this one's a good one. So let me pull it up here so I get it right. He said he thinks you were on the varsity team at this time, but he told the players about while you guys were in a slump, about a particular Major League Baseball player, former Cub and Arizona Diamondback, Mark Grace, and what his slump buster techniques to either do what
Oh,
he did or just shut the F up about being in a slump. So he wants to know, were you on that team? And if you remember what the slump buster was.
I feel like I remember him saying something. I do remember, was it the Golden Thong? That was another one. Someone else did that. But that might be
Yeah,
a different
that was
player.
Giambi. I know that
Yeah,
was
oh,
Giambi.
yeah, yeah. All right. So I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, coach. What
I'm
was it?
sure after he watches this, he'll
Oh,
post what
he'll let us
what
know.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I do not remember. Sorry, coach.
Did you get out of the slump? That's the bigger question after you guys were in a slump.
That year, probably not. We my sophomore and junior year, that's when I was on varsity sophomore and junior year, and we weren't that good. But my senior year, we were like 26 and 13, so did much better.
Well, I know, and just talking to Rob about his coaching experience, like I think you're an example of someone that his coaching style and his approach to coaching has definitely impacted you after being a
Yeah,
player on his team.
100%. I
And
uh I had a really close relationship with him. Like whenever I had like issues outside of baseball or just like anything in general, I'd be able to go up and talk to him and he would, help me out. I have like I have a vivid memory from Florida. The Pioneer team, that's our high school, would go to the Jackie Robinson training complex um, every spring break. And I have this memory of like having this like 2 hour conversation with Rob. This is about life and baseball and just whatever. But
well, let's circle back to PEBA for a couple minutes. And you know, after making it all the way to the championship game for the Rodriguez Cup, what are your expectations for this season?
well, I'm expecting another battle in the Seaboard between me and New Jersey. Um, I think they have done a good job addressing their needs. Um, And I mean, having D'Antonio on your roster for a whole season now is going to help out a lot. But I see the Harpoon taking the division again and making a good run in the playoffs. At least that's what I'm hoping for. I think some of the acquisitions we've made, Lyle and Lopez especially, will give us a big boost. Yeah, my closing situation wasn't great last year. I had Pedro Sanchez, who was the shutdown reliever in 2020, 2043. Um, but he struggled a little bit more this season. His ERA was up a bit. He did have 40 saves or something like that. Yeah, 40, 40. Yeah. So he got a bunch of saves for us, but he also blew a few more than I would have appreciated. Um, but I see us, making the playoffs at least.
Well, there's one pitcher that it's not named Goater that I want to bring up, and that's Sergio Velez,
Otherwise,
because
yeah, five insane.
that guy, my scout on the version switch is showing he might potentially have a potential higher than Goater, and it's like
Yep.
if that happens, holy, Hartford's gonna be. It's not just getting around Goater. It's you've got Hernandez and Velez right there, like
Yeah.
to try to get around.
Velez
Yeah,
Velez also had got the ratings boost for me on the Virgin Change. My scout saw it as well. It sees him now as a overall 4-star guy and a potential 4.5.
yeah, that's what my
Um,
scout has. My scout actually says he calls him Velez may be an overlooked ace. And if he's overlooked, it's because of Goater. But like
yeah.
you have two, like I think you have legitimate two aces in your starting rotation, and not a lot of teams can boast that. Uh,
Yeah.
so you're definitely in a position of strength.
Yeah, the starting pitching has been our strong suit the past few seasons. I mean, Velez, was it last season? Yeah, last season he had 2.9 ERA, 5.2 WAR, and 220 innings pitched. Um, doesn't walk many guys, strikes out a bunch. His one issue is might give up some home runs, but
Yeah,
I don't know
he's been under one.
if you
Un-
can limit,
Anytime you could be under one home runs
yeah,
per nine, that's great.
and he
So
limits base runners, so lots of
just
times
the
I
ability to strike out over 200 too, like that's
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's huge.
get out of get out of jams, and it's gonna be interesting to see what he does this year because yeah, the home run aspects will be the thing that will be interesting. But yeah, if he gets around that 2.9 again, and you have Goater pitching like Goater does, like there's 1-2 that you do not want to see when
Yeah.
you're in a short series.
And I think with this version change, it seems like the game is valuing stuff a lot more. A lot of those relievers that were 2.5-star guys that were like maybe like 7.55 are now, 3-star guys, and some of them even like 3.5-star. Lots of guys are getting like Phil Robertson. He's in my minor leagues. He was a 2.5-star potential um reliever for me until this version change. And now he's 9.57 potential ratings and 3.5-star potential star wise. So
Yeah, I'm gonna pull him up here quick because yeah, that's a good one to bring up of just showing the difference of just like that stuff. I think that stuff. I think there's something to it. We'll see the impact of it, but
Yeah, and that's going to be the interesting part. And I'm not sure how many people pay attention to this, but they talk about version changes, quote unquote, ruining my players, destroying my team. What happens is the game engine clearly is doing something different from version to version,
mhm.
and 27 is going to be different than 26,
Yeah.
and there are going to be some people who are going to be very upset because their team does not perform the way they thought it was going to because the game engine is shifting.
Yeah.
And you might come to find that control might not be as valuable as it was in previous versions. You might find that movement and home runs allowed might be more valuable than they were in previous versions, and stuff might have a slight increase from previous versions. And how it impacts
on the field performance. So
Yeah, I kind of want to talk about this one guy I recently signed. Maybe kind of explain it to PEBA, everybody, because I think definitely this guy does not deserve $8 million a season. But I signed him for 2 seasons. Next season, he's got to buy a team option for only $1 million buyout. So I'm like, that's only a million. I don't really care if he doesn't have a good
just a
season.
measly $1 million.
Yeah, measly million. But his name's, I think, Alex. Yeah, Alex Morris. And my scout has him at 486. So n not great in the stuff category, but I've been seeing a lot of success in those guys with at least six movement and six control at the same time. Like if they have both six at the same time, over six at the same time, I feel like the stuff doesn't matter as much. And I mean, yeah, like your guy has him at five potential stuff and seven movements, a little bit different than mine, but
Yeah, I just switched it to
that's always stuff.
OSA just to see what OSA was saying. But yeah, I mean that movement and home runs allowed, like I think there's something to it.
Yeah, I
So
think he'll be a good middle reliever. I just try to get as much bullpen depth as I can, just because if one guy, because those 2.5 star pitchers, as we all know, some of them will have a great season every so often, and if I can get as many of those to see who can actually have that great season, um, I had the money, so $8 million. People were, it looked like he was going to get signed for around like five, but for like 3 years was like what he kept being asking for. So I was like, I'll give you 1 year at eight, and then next season you'll get paid eight if you do good.
yeah, no, I think it's. I mean, you had the money, so gamble with it. And
And I
if you
can't spend
lose,
on
then it's $1 million loss. Like just cut him and move on.
I don't, and I can't spend on international amateurs this season. Got the restriction, so
Well, that's a good segue to just how you spend and how you look at the overall picture of it, where it's like, all right, I spent last year. Now I can take a gamble on this type of player this year. And I think too often when I look at the amount of money available, people are complaining about how teams spend. And it's like some of the people that complain, they have money. What are
yeah.
they waiting for? Like, what are you waiting to spend it on? Like,
Maybe you have a big hole in your pocket, like just like a big lump of cash like Okinawa had,
yeah,
like you gotta spend it. Like that's money going to waste if you don't spend it. And
yeah,
if you can get a guy, I mean that Vila Real guy looks really, really good. I mean I think he's worth all that money, especially if you're not spending it elsewhere. If your guys are all young and still on small contracts, like why not spend 40 million on the guy who's gonna be your best hitter?
yeah. No, it's one of those where it's like, if we're going to, you know, keep everything as is moving forward, that's you're going to have these bidding wars until teams spend the money. And I don't think it's a bad thing that the teams are spending the money because
Yeah.
ultimately you got owners and we can only carry over 30 million every year. And there's a lot of teams that are giving money back to their owners and you're not getting to use that. So I'd rather overspend and use it on making the team better
Yeah,
than doing
totally.
that. Well,
So
yeah,
Tice, are
Scott.
there any yeah, are there any favorite players in the league that are not on your team that you kind of follow and watch?
Mm, I don't know. Like, I don't know if I have any favorites, but I do check in on the guys I've moved or um I have some like short lists on guys who like was interested in the draft just to like check in to see if oh should I have drafted that guy? I mean like it's too late now, but just to check in on them. But yeah, I try to keep up with the guys I trade. It's nice. It's always nice to see when the guy I traded away, uh, falls off a bit because then I was like, oh, I traded him at the right time.
or not to beat a dead horse here, or does it spectacularly well and you trade to get him back, like Chen.
Like Jet.
But
So
like you were saying before we had started recording, like the way the current situation that New Jersey was in of trying to not be as competitive, like
yeah.
kind of helps with that type
They,
of
they had
Yeah.
goals that did not
aligned.
coincide
Yeah.
with having an excessive amount of wins in that year.
Yeah. At the time, I was platooning in left field with uh oh, what was his name? I really like the player. I mean, he's a 2.5 star guy. I think he's on Amsterdam now. Oh, where did he get signed? Oh, I forget. Let me just go to my history real quick. He was Noel Dulahanty. He's now a free agent. Um, I think I was platooning him and a righty, I can't remember. And I was starting to look for outfielders that I could like, start in left field instead of just platoon. And I was going after all like the teams that weren't competing. I was looking at all their systems and trying to see if they had a good fit, and New Jersey did. So I was totally fine with sending my first and my third and all my top prospects because at the time my prospects were pretty dry. Like those guys who were sent over were my best guys. And if you look at them now, they don't really look as great.
Well, for the few tens to twenties of viewers that watch us on these things, that's something of note to pay attention to because looking at other team systems, looking at how the successful teams are doing things, I don't think enough people do that type of thing. So it's worth noting
Yeah.
that you're looking at those type of things to figure out what works and what's working for the teams that are winning versus the teams that aren't, and try to figure out the different ways you can address it too. So that's why I always like talking to you, Tice, because you know you're you're learning the game as the league's going on, but you're not like you're digging in and looking at these different things, and it's not just like so many times that like in my other league there was another guy that joined recently and was complaining about his budget. The first comment he makes to the league after he joined is his budget. And it's just like, welcome to the league. Like, I'm gonna complain
Yeah.
about my situation. And it's like baseball, we don't have a salary cap. We don't
Yeah.
have equal, but there's different ways you can tackle all these things. And
Yeah.
it's not like Hartford is you know, the top budget in the league coming in, but you've been able to be
We
competitive with it.
we had some money problems, I think, at the start. Not like terrible. We have a pretty big market size. Um, but we had a few big contracts that we had to offload when I joined, and I had a lot of fun that 2041 season trying to like plug and play guys, try to maximize with what I already had. And I guess making the playoffs with 80 and 82 is all, all I needed, but um yeah, I do really enjoy finding a way to win when you don't have the resources as other teams might have. And luckily we've gotten our money up quite a bit since I've joined, and our it just seems like it's only growing. Like if I look at my front office, um like I think I have 45 million next year to spend, and compared to the 28 this year. And my salary, even like the salary is even going up. It says next year I'll have 4 more million on the books, but I have 20 more million to spend compared to this year. So I think we're just gonna keep racking up the cash, I hope. Maybe eventually I'll get to spend the big bucks on one of those international guys who comes in and
But I think you will. I think that's the thing. It's exciting about what you're building is that as your budget is continuing to gradually increase, if one of these international guys pops that fits everything you need,
yeah, I can just go all
you're
out.
ready. You're there to just be like, boom, I'm adding this guy, and we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, there's a few other of the international guys I was thinking about this year. Um, the Morillo guy who still hasn't been signed. Is he international? Yeah. Um, he just got a little bit too expensive for me, which is why I ended up going for that Morris guy instead. Um, and Villarreal looked good, and I just kind of was full on outfielders. I just traded for Lyle, and then the King, the guy
Yeah,
Rob
the
signed.
first baseman. Yep.
Yeah, he was also a guy I was slightly interested in. Just ended up deciding the money was a little bit too much.
Yeah, that Murillo guy that you mentioned, I remember I like I don't know if I offered, but I was looking at it. I'm like, all right, we'll see what he wants. It says now that he wants $32 million a year.
Yeah,
I just
he's not that type of player.
no. Like it'll be interesting to see who's offering 32 million.
I mean, it's
But
only for 1 year, but that reminds me, Charles, of like who was that guy Charleston signed? Was it last offseason or the offseason before? But he signed him for it was like some lefty that was like a three, maybe a 3.5 star starting pitcher. I don't think he was a 3.5 star though. And he signed him for 1 year, 35 million, which to me was a great deal because he only gave him 1 year and he had all the money to spend and he needed a starting pitcher. So I think that can be done, but I don't know. But he looked a lot better than this Murillo guy.
yeah,
And Osa thinks this Murillo guy is much better than my scout thinks. I think I might have been more inclined to spend the money on Murillo if my scout saw him as OSA did. So
yeah. Well, Scott and I have talked about multiple times of just like in version 26, it seemed like that whole OSA rating was sometimes closer to what reality was than what it had been in the past versus what your scout is. But
yeah.
27, I think I'm seeing more so far that it might be swinging back the other way.
Well, we'll have to see how these players all play. You know,
Yeah.
if Murillo ends up having a monster season, I mean, I might start trusting OSA a bit more. But
Yeah.
but looking at, I mean, even looking at my team, I think OSA thinks my players are very similar to what my scout sees them as. In the minors, there's a few discrepancies, but it's in my minors, it's all they think my players are better than my scout thinks they are. Like I have four, as of now in my system, I have four players who are 3 star or above, but OSA thinks it's I have 8 or 7. So they think I have three more 3 star players that my scout doesn't see in the minors. Um, yeah,
That's a good way to have it though.
yeah.
Not the other way.
I'm hoping Osa is right about this Kurt Knox guy. I like how he looks under Osa. He concerns me a bit where my how my scout sees him because he's only got 4 potential home runs allowed, which that's the one that always concerns me is if you got under 5 home runs allowed, I don't know if I
Yeah, no, I'm terrified of those pitchers because
yeah.
I tend to think that version 27 for sure is going to punish pitchers with low movement and low home runs allowed, like punish them. So, and I could be
So
wrong, but
OSA
from
thinks he's like, solid 3 star guy, but yeah, Sean, your scout looks pretty similar to mine.
Okay.
other than he has the movement potential at 5, just that home runs allowed is still at the still 3 to 4.
I'm still just trying to figure out. I mean, in 26 it was the same issue, but like this guy's got 5 pitches and all 5 of them are above 6 potential, but his stuff is 6. Like
Yeah, like
you
he's
have
got
5 pitches that are above average, like I would think at least your stuff should be 7. Like come on, like
yeah, some of the
what's going
stuff
on there?
the stuffs were weird with starting pitchers especially. Like I feel like you have to have all of them at like all of them at 7 if you want
Yeah.
your stuff to be 7, or if you want you need it, or like I don't know. Like sometimes I see starting pitchers with 4 pitches and they'll be like 8, 9, 7, 7, and then it'll be 7 stuff. I'm like, well, you have an 8 and a 9 pitch. Like I think he could be an 8 stuff. But
Yeah.
then you see guys like Goder, and Goder has one pitch that's a 9. He has 8 stuff, but he has an 8 fastball, 9 curveball, 7 cutter, but then a 6 circle change and a 5 change, and they give him 8 stuff there. So like I don't I don't know how they do the stuff. Stuff always confuses me.
Well, like the guy we were just talking about, like let's see. I think he's got let me pull it back up here.
Knox.
Yeah,
Knox, yeah.
Knox. I think he had like it was like 96, 97 speed with a fastball that's a 7. It's like that is a high velocity fastball that's only a 7. Like what the
Yeah.
heck is going on there?
Or you get guys who have like I seen guys who have like 100 miles per hour and their fastball is only like a 7 too. I'm just like,
Yeah.
why is what is this fastball different?
Yeah.
Yeah, but back to Goder, like when I'm looking at him, like the best thing about Goder is he's got three, above average pitches.
Yeah.
Like his fastball, the curve, like a 9 curveball. I mean, are you kidding me? I think Goder's thing is he's got three really good pitches in his fastball, curveball, and cutter. And the changeup and circle change are not bad. Although changeup and a circle change are essentially the same pitch from what I've
Yeah.
read. But I think having that 9 curveball is what sets him apart, right? So he's got some good pitches, he's got some
Mhm.
average pitches, but he's got one exceptional pitch and it happens to be a curveball. And I think that's probably essential to his success when combined with his stuff, movement, home runs allowed, BABIP, like he's got really good ratings, but having a multitude of pitches that are good and an exceptional pitch, I think is the type of thing that can set people apart.
Yeah, totally. And I think the last version in 26, that curveball is a 10.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's see what OSA's OSA's got it as a 9 too. My scouts got him at very high rating. So, and I don't know if you know this, but your scout is more accurate than ours. Like, or a player that's on your team that has
yeah.
very high accuracy scouting is a better. You're getting a better picture of that player.
Yeah. That would make sense, totally. And I always like my scout, I think he's legendary at scouting the majors too. So I
Yeah,
usually
that
trust my
too.
scout pretty well when I'm looking at any guy on the major league level.
Yeah, you should trust your scout more than ours. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
That's why I always when I first started playing this in online leagues, I remember people saying, "Well, my scout is rated this, so your scout is if they're not rated this, they don't know what they're talking about." And trying to tell you in trades that you should
Yeah.
listen to their scout, and it's like, no, listen to
Luckily
your
I
scout first, like, and then play the game.
yeah, luckily I haven't really ran across anybody who's tried to like convince me that a player is either better or worse than they are just because of their scout. I the only time I've really had any conversations about someone's scout is like, hey, my scout doesn't like him as much, so I might pass on this guy. It's
Yeah,
not like trying to convince me to sell him for less or
yeah.
whatever.
So,
Well,
for a
yeah.
final question, shifting away from PEBA and out of the park, the other night on a streaming service, I spotted Moneyball, so I put it on, and my wife groaned and rolled her eyes
What?
because I've
That's
seen
such
the
a good one.
movie, I think 20 times because it's a really
Oh,
good movie. And I've
yeah.
read the book, and I will say I get frustrated every time they have the Mark Shapiro Cleveland Indians scene because it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because they made the Indians out to be like this rich team compared to the A's, and they were essentially the
Cleveland,
same,
yeah.
right? But putting that aside, it is a great movie to watch. So I was wondering, do you have a favorite baseball movie? Like, are there any movies that you watch regularly, like more than once about baseball?
I would say Moneyball is definitely up there. If like it's either that one or 42, in
Yeah,
my
42
opinion.
is great. Yeah, 42 is great.
That's such a good one. They
Have you
Chadwick
ever seen
Boseman,
Eight Men
great
Out?
actor.
I think it's called the one about the Chicago White Sox, the black they call them.
Yes, yes,
The,
about the like
that's a
yeah.
pretty fun movie to, and it's very like period piece. You know, it's got a
Mhm.
like a almost like a Shawshank Redemption kind of look to it.
I think I saw that once. My dad had me watch it a while ago, but that's one I probably have to
Well,
watch
I'm an
again.
old guy.
Yeah.
I think you're younger than my kids, so you know that makes
Okay.
sense that your dad and I have similar interests in movies.
I'm 20, so almost 21.
Yeah, my youngest son is 25.
Probably the youngest by almost a decade, probably in PEBA. I don't know if anybody else is in their 20s.
We'll
Maybe
find out
Brandon?
after we post
Maybe
this, but
Brandon? I don't
I
know.
don't, what's I mean, Justin's got to be somewhere.
Justin's probably
I think
closest
he's a
to.
little younger than I am, but I'm not sure how much younger.
So Tyson, I tried to get my kids involved in this. Like I bought versions of the game for them, and they're gamers. Like
Yeah,
like when we switched to Discord, my kids use Discord like every day. And I
yeah.
said, okay, what's with the like, what's with this Discord thing? And they're like, why do you want to know about Discord? I'm like, my baseball league might be switching to it. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm in a few Discord servers. I don't really take part in, but like my friends will like go on Discord calls when they're playing their video games or whatever. And
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what they do. They like chat. My kids chat while they're playing video games
yeah,
in
yeah,
Discord.
yeah. That's what my friends will do. I haven't really been into multiplayer video games in a while, but I get back at it. Sometimes my girlfriend makes me play Fortnite, so
I
Well,
would say
I
for
was
an
gonna
old
say,
guy,
yeah,
I play Skyrim. You familiar with
oh, that's
that?
a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
And Fallout 4.
Fallout, yep.
I've played that a bunch. That's about it for me. And Out of the Park.
I was a big Pokemon guy. I like also like Hollow Knight and Silk Song, those ones. Yeah, I like the solo open world games kinda. Um, but then I don't know, I was an Overwatch guy and an Apex Legends guy in the more competitive video games.
I'm like in the in between. I'm like the Call of Duty generation.
Hmm. I would play some Call of Duty, but my biggest claim to fame in all of my video games was at one point I think I was in middle school, I was ranked in the top 1,000 in the entire world for competitive Pokemon. There's like the competitive format for Pokemon. I was
Wow.
ranked in the top 1,000 in the world, so I was pretty into that.
Commissioner Mike is probably like, "What's a Pokemon?"
I know. Remember, Yuma Bob would have been like, what the hell is
Yuma
Pokemon?"
What are they talking about? All these games. What are they talking about?
Yeah, what's a video game?
Yeah, Pong. We were
All
talking
right.
about Pong. Bob might know what we were talking about.
Yeah. Well, I'm running out of
Well,
time here.
all right. Well, thank you for joining us, Tice.
Yeah, thank
It
you
was
guys so much
great.
for having me. This was a great time. Maybe in a future season, we can
Oh
check
yeah,
in again, do another
we'll
interview.
check in with you.
I'll tell you what, when you win the PEBA championship, I'm sorry, the Rodriguez Cup, like
Yeah.
Yes.
when you win it, we would like to have you on and you can explain to us everything we need to know so that we can try and win one too.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Awesome.
happen. It's gonna happen.
I
Well,
think,
one of the three
between
of
the
us
three of
should,
us, I could see it
yeah,
happening in a few
someone
years.
should win it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Yeah. Thank you guys.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
From the lakes of Duluth to Havana's warm breeze, Reno's desert lights glow where the crowds ever free. Shinseki's wars with the bats held high. Yuma's sandlot dreams touch the wide open sky. Palm Springs breathes the heat where the sun always shines. 32 teams united, crossing every line. From the dirt to the diamond, we're chasing the call. The roar of the fans, yeah, we're giving our all in. From the dirt to the diamond, we're chasing the call. The roar of the fans, yeah, we're giving our all. Swing for the stars in the PEBA game. Global fire, every city's aflame. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the fight. Planetary extreme, we're igniting the night. Oh, 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 PEBA's the name, PEBA's the name. Oh, 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 we're changing the game. Scottish pipers cheer as the bases are run. New Orleans rhythm swings till the battle is won. Tempe's rolling the dice with the fastball surprise. Toyota's precision lights up in our eyes. Now machines are strong where the dust meets the tree. Florida's golden fields where the champions gleam. From the dirt to the diamond, we're chasing the call. The roar of the fans, yeah, we're giving our all in. From the dirt to the diamond, we're chasing the call. The roar of the fans, yeah, we're giving our all. Swing for the stars in the PEBA game. Global fire, every city's aflame. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the fight. Planetary extreme, we're igniting the night. Oh, 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 PEBA's the name, PEBA's the name. Oh, 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 we're changing the game. 32 dreams, one world, one fight. From dusk till dawn, we're burning so bright. Every pitch, every hit, every play in the zone. The Planetary Baseball Alliance, we're never alone. From the fields to the stands, hear the planet unite. PEBA's the spark and we're taking flight. Swing for the stars in the PEBA game. Global fire, every city's aflame. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the fight. Planetary extreme, we're igniting the night. Oh, 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 PEBA's the name, PEBA's the name. Oh, 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 we're changing the game. So raise up your gloves, let the banners fly high. From San Juan to Kalamazoo, we're reaching the sky. Planetary Extreme Baseball Alliance, where the legends are born. Swing for the stars, let the world hear our roar.